Okay, Monarchs, this is the third and final video, or the fourth and final video, I'm sorry, for lesson 5.1, day 2. So if you have not watched the first 3, please go back and do that now, or this will not make that much sense. So you're supposed to be solving this on your own. So I'm just going to go through it quickly. These should be the x values that you use. So this is our try it. I'm going to solve it and then graph it. But if you guys look, we can't solve this correctly right now. And if you see at the top, it says if the equation is not solved for y, do that first. And what that means is we have to get y by itself. Okay, so right now y is not by itself, right? We have 8x and a 4 attached to it, so we have to get y by itself. So we're going to do that just by solving this equation. Okay, so if I was to get y by itself, the first thing I'd want to do is get rid of this 8x, and it's a positive 8x. The opposite of a positive 8x would be a negative 8x. So I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. 8x minus 8x is 0. I'm just left with 4y equals. And I cannot do 8 minus 8x, and that's because this 8 is a constant. It doesn't have an x attached to it. So I cannot combine like terms unless they both share the same variable, but that one does not. So I'm just going to leave it as negative 8x, and then it's a positive 8. It's a positive 8, so it'll be plus 8, okay? Now that 4 is multiplying my y, so I want to move that 4 to the other side. And the way that I do that is by the opposite. So the opposite operation of multiplication would be division. So I'm actually going to divide both sides by 4. Okay. I divide everything by 4, and I'll write my new equation over here. Okay. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So that cancels out. So I'm just left with y equals, and y equals negative 8 divided by 4 would be negative 2. So I get negative 2x, and 8 divided by 4 would be 2. So plus 2. So now my actual equation is y equals negative 2x plus 2. And now that this looks like the ones on the front, all we need to do is sub in these values for x to find our correct coordinates, okay? So I'm going to do y equals negative 2, and in parentheses, remember I'm not going to put x, I'm going to do negative 1 because that's where my x value is. See, that came right from here. And then we have plus 2, and that will equal negative 2 times negative 1 will give me a positive 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So then my ordered pair would be negative 1, comma, 4. Okay, that's my first ordered pair. For my next ordered pair, I'm going to do y equals, and I'm going to do negative 2. And then in parentheses, I'm not going to put x, because this is our x value now. I'm going to put 0, and then I have plus 2. Okay. That will give me negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So my next ordered pair will be 0, comma, and my y is 2. Okay. Now I have my last one. I'm going to do y equals negative 2. But in parentheses, remember I'm not putting x. I'm putting what my x value is, which in this case is 1. And then I have plus 2, which gives me negative 2 times 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 would be 0. So my ordered pair would be 1, comma, 0. Okay. So now all I do is I graph these 3 points. So my first point that I'm going to graph is negative 1, comma 4. So I go negative 1 on the x-axis, 4 on the y-axis. That point is right there. My next point is going to be 0, 2. So don't go anywhere on the x-axis. So I just go up to 2. My last point is going to be 1, comma 0. So I go 1 to the right, and my y is 0, so I don't go anywhere on the y. So that's going to be my point. Then I draw my line straight through, make sure to add my arrows, and now I'm done with that problem. Okay. So it seems like a lot of work, but it wasn't too bad. It's just kind of what we've been doing. We just had to rearrange the problem in the beginning. Okay. Let's take a look at the bottom. It says to test if a point lies on the line, plug in the values of x and y. So this is what we were doing before. So we're just going to plug in the values for x and y. And it gives us 2 different points. It also gives us an x and a y in our equation. So what we're going to do is plug in our points for x and y, and we will determine if those points do lie. So this is x comma y, x comma y. We'll determine if those points lie on the line. So the first one we're going to do is this one. So my x value is going to be 2. So my x value is going to be 2. So I'm going to do negative 2. And then in parentheses, I'm not going to put x. I'm going to do 2. And that's because this came from right there. Then I do plus, and I'm going to do my y, which is 7. Then I'm going to set that equal to 3 and see if that works. Okay, so I have negative 2 times 2 would be negative 4. Negative 4 plus 7 does equal 3. So yes. So this is a yes. Okay. Our next equation is going to be negative 1 comma 8. So we're going to do negative 2, and then in parentheses, I'm not going to put 8. I'm not going to put x. My x value is negative 1. Then I have plus, and I'm not going to put y. I'm going to put 8 because that's what my y is, and we're going to see if that works. So negative 2 times negative 1 would give me a positive 2, and 2 plus 8 does not equal 3, right? 2 plus 8 is 10, and 10 does not equal 3. I'm sorry, I didn't know you couldn't see that. So no, that one does not work, okay? So stay tuned for the homework help video for this lesson, okay? Thanks for watching.